Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Your wife is from New York?
No, she's a Air Force brat.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And how did you meet her?
DJing.
Better yet, right?
July 4th, she came into the club I was DJing at, and July 4th is not necessarily the busiest night in the entertainment world, so it was a small gathering, and it turned into a bet between me and one of my best friends as to who was going to get her number. I was a DJ with a microphone and prizes left over from the following week. Guess who won?
Unfair advantage.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so you've had a couple of years in the real estate business. Do you have a unique or funniest memory of any of the clients that you've had to work with? Any unusual requests, or
Where do you want to start?
So every settlement and every client has their own special.
Well, let's see. In my year and a half of real estate, I have had a client get shot.
Wow.
I've had a gun pulled on me.
Oof.
Then in Airville, not in the city.
Wow.
So for everybody who goes, I don't go to the city, I'll go to the city. It's the country that always worries me from time to time. I had a couple who lived in Maryland who wanted to move up to the area, who lived a alternative friendly lifestyle.
Okay.
Shall we say. That was interesting. So that's just some of the things that I've come across. And what was the one from the other day? They're also starting to blend together.
That's okay.
An agent in our office is convinced, she goes, if anybody's going to sell a house to Sasquatch, or visit an alien autopsy site at a home, I'll find it. So yeah, between homes with former meth labs and enough weed to make Colorado proud. Yeah, it's been an interesting year and a half in real estate.
So effectively, what that comes down to is it's still a people-to-people business.
It is,
and regardless of how much technology there is out there and all the stuff that we like to think rules our world, because it does. The bottom line, no matter what the situation is still a customer service driven people-to-people business.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how much information is on the computer and you can everything you can click on to find out more, at the end of the day, it still comes down to, can you talk to somebody?
Right.
And I realize we're in a society now where everything's via text message. I've got kids that constantly on their phones, and I'm just as guilty. But at the end of the day, you've got to be able to put that down and have a one-on-one conversation.
Absolutely.
And still build that relationship and that trust and that rapport with someone.
Absolutely. And yeah, the communication, not just face-to-face, but the communication sort of whatever requirement in any of those relationships is so critical, because it's probably not the things that are said that sometimes create problems, it's the things that aren't said. Right? Correct. And so some of those things you cannot say in a text or even an email or whatever, and you certainly can't sense inflection and
right.
all the things that might make the difference in a real funny conversation to like a real serious conversation.
Yeah, sarcasm does not work in a text message.
Yeah, I learned that with my wife.
Yeah.
So what do you want your clients to take away from the transaction that you help them with? What if you're in your perfect client scenario, your client walks away from the table and
Adam made things smoother and less stressful.
Cool.
We had all the, you don't buy a house every day.
Right.
And it is there are parts of buying a home that can be extremely stressful. And this is where I will use my background, with working with weddings.
That's a stressful time.
At a young age, when you do decide to get married, there's a lot that goes into it, from DJs and photographers and the site, and oh my goodness, am I going to fit in my dress? And is Lisa going to get pregnant before we get to the wedding, and all of a sudden she doesn't fit in her bridesmaid's dress? Whatever. So there's a lot of stress that's involved with a wedding, and in 20 years of doing that, that's probably the biggest compliment I get from my couples is, you just made it easy.
Yeah.
Everything that we were worried about, there was still a little there because it's natural, but the majority of it we took away. And now same thing with real estate, where my clients now go, we had all these worries, and there were some parts we hit that were rough patches, but all the information was there. You made sure that we were on top of it. You stayed communicated with us, and we got through it. And even when we hit a really rough spot, you were there to hold my hand and say, okay, here's how we're going to get to closing.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the biggest compliment I can get from my clients.
And the rest spots you're speaking of primarily probably deal with mortgages.
Yes.
Because that world's completely changed. You know?
Probably mortgages and inspections.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we found termites, and now what do we do, or something?
Right.
Like that,
Yeah. There's a retaining wall that now has to be rebuilt. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting through that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing your story with us, and look forward to seeing more of you and more of your signs all around the county.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.